Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Jana.
Hello. Can you guys all hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. How are you, Zena? Back in LA? Back where are you?
Yeah, I'm in LA. جيت
Oh.
قبل أسبوع.
Alhamdulillah, السلامة.
Thank you.
All right, so how are you guys doing with the coronavirus?
Alhamdulillah, but everyone is panicking here.
Okay, everyone is panicking.
I have
Dad hasn't brushed his hair in 2 months. شو قلت زياد؟
I said I have regular flu and I'm afraid to say it out loud.
Okay, why? Are you afraid that people are gonna think it's corona?
Yeah, بيحبسوني.
All right. All right, so guys, the intention of today's class is to uplift and and get us to look at things in a more positive light, not about the coronavirus, but about in general what is going on. So you'll receive a recording of this class, so no need to take notes. And please ask as many questions as you have or feel that you want to connect to, etc. In this moment, can I just ask if anyone of you has ever had an angel encounter? How do they know it was an angel encounter and what happened? If they have a story like this to share. Basim, we're listening.
Okay. One day back in 2011, I had an experience, and I felt like my gut or my heart like pumping, and the feeling was extremely different and very strong, and like if someone is pushing me to do something, and I did it, and it was the best thing I did in the past 10 years. I didn't know what was it or how to explain it, but it wasn't me at that moment. So it's like if someone is like pushing me and just do it without even questioning anything.
Okay. Do you know which angel it was? Or
Of course I do.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Thank you very much for sharing. Does anybody else have an angel encounter?
Once I was driving to work and I was really sleepy and I was late, so I didn't wash my face. So being large and not like I was dozing off the road when the cars weren't moving, but at some point they were moving and not moving. So I slept while I was driving. And I felt a hand hit me on my face and waking me up. I opened my eyes and I see my car curving into the right next to me, and I was gonna hit him, and I just like woke up from shock.
Okay, very good. And do you know which angel did this beautiful act?
No, but God bless him.
Okay. All right. All right. Does anybody else have any story to share?
I have a story.
Okay.
Once we did a class with Abby about angels in Dubai. He made a meditation for us so we can know who is our guardian angel. Basically, a name came to me. It was Uriel. Ever since, for example, to have proof and there is the existence. I needed proof. فكنت قاعدة like a few years back وكنت أدخن قاعدة على البرندة بدبي و I wanted proof. كنت like a very low place وقمت قلت since I know it's you Uriel, please give me proof إنه you are there. بتعرفي بدبي it's very hot وفيش هوا كان وقاعدة برا فجأة there was a wind. بعدين I looked up in the sky وحياة الله I saw a face in the clouds. I took a screenshot of it. يعني that's one.
Okay. That's actually a very beautiful encounter. Anybody else? Okay. So let's start with what angels are and what they are not. A little bit of content. What do they do? How do we connect to them? And how can we optimize the use of angels in our life? So, you know, personally, every child has more transparency into the world of angels, not because they're able to see them necessarily, because children are like us. They're not able to see what we don't see. But the reason why they're more prone to encounter angels is because they're more transparent into the voices that speak to them. So they're more able to understand that some thoughts are not theirs, that some positive thoughts are not coming from them, some wisdom is not coming from them, and some wisdom is also, which is not so positive, is also not coming from them. There's a very famous story about my teacher who actually, she was very young. She was about 6 or 7. When she was thrown into a pit, she was being bullied. She was very bullied when she was young. And she was thrown into a pit. Do you guys know what a pit is? A pit is like a hole that's very deep. And the kids just tied her and threw her into that pit. And when this was her first spiritual encounter with the Archangel Michael, and he came to her and he said, he came to her and he said, you're going to be okay. And she's like, who are you? I'm scared. And he's like, it's okay. I'm here to, help you get through the night. And she's like, I'm very scared. I don't want to be here alone. My friends don't like me. And he said, it's okay. That's all part of, the lessons you're going to have to learn as you grow older, because you're destined to have to not seek people's approval. So you need to learn that friends, you're not always going to have friends that are going to be on your side. So she got very scared throughout the night, and this angel just kept talking to her and talking to her and talking to her. And finally, in the morning, they came and they found her and everything was fine. But she says that in her entire spiritual career afterwards, and we're talking about Karen Berg here, so we're talking about 40 years of teaching spirituality and meditating and etc. She says the most powerful and profound encounter that she ever had with her archangel or her guardian angel was at that moment when she was transparent enough to listen to this voice. Now, most of us dismiss these voices under the pretense of this is just my mind playing tricks on me, or this is just my mind telling me things, and where is this information coming from? And all the doubt starts to kick in, and that's very true. I'm not denying that these things can be, assimilations of your mind. But then again, the question lies still, where's this assimilation coming from? And this is the first instance in which we understand what angels are. Most of us view angels as some beings that have wings, that fly, that are rays of light, that have colors, that you tell them what to do and they do it for you, or the opposite, they tell you what to do and you do it. But actually, that's not what angels are. Angels are the infrastructure of the universe. So what does infrastructure mean? Infrastructure is roads, right? If you want to get to the house of wisdom, you're going to have to take a road, right? And that road is an infrastructure. And that's the same thing as an angel. Angels have no free will. So this understanding has to be very, very clear to us. Angels don't decide, I want to help, or I am going to do. They only follow the command of the light, especially the archangels. The archangels follow the command and the system of the light. Is that clear about that angels have no free will? Now, every angel also has tasks, right? So what does tasks mean? It means that every angel is endowed with a specific task that he has to do, that he has to perform in this world. And the beauty of it is that it's not like being hired at P&G or Morgan and Stanley, where, you know, many people are competing for the same spot. In angels, every angel has a job, he can never get fired, and he has no competition. Does that make sense? So there are no angels that can interlap in tasks. So let's use a rough example. If you have and I'm going to use this just to put it out there. If you have a judgment against you, so let's say you're meant to trip and fall, and the angel Gabriel comes and throws the rock in front of you so you can, you know, ultimately trip and fall and, you know, slow down and get to reflect. Michael, who's an angel of mercy, cannot come and interfere on that behalf. Even if, right? You say, Archangel Michael, protect me, protect me, protect me. But if there is this judgment against you that you're meant to fall on this rock, Gabriel has to execute. And Michael cannot override Gabriel's stance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. If anybody has questions, you can type them in, or you can just unmute yourself and ask. So angels are very interesting in that perspective because they have no competition and they have no free will. Now, the 4 prime angels that are sitting on top of the throne, let's say, are the very famous archangels, which are Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and
Rafael.
Rafael. Everybody knows Rafael, so that's fine. All right.
Habib Qalbi.
All right. So how do you, so most of us think, right? And this is a question that I've actually asked my teacher, as in, does everybody get like a nice guardian angel that's, you know, from the 4 archangels? The unfortunate answer to this is yes or no?
No.
No. Not all people get an archangel as a guardian angel. An archangel are the highest sitting angels that have been created angels. There's only one exception to this rule. There is one angel that is higher than all these angels, but we don't mention him. And why is that? Do you guys know much about angels, or do you just want me to go from the very basics?
No, أنا بعرف.
Please go from the very basics.
All right, so there is an angel that goes from the very beginning, right? His name is, we don't mention this name, but you guys have to know it, but we don't pronounce it. The angel is called Metatron, right? So you can just link the word together, but it's not very good to say this angel's name. This angel is the world's most powerful being, and he doesn't interfere in mankind. But the beauty of him is, why is he a very special angel? Does anybody know?
Isn't he a human who became an angel?
Exactly. It's a human that elevated into a saint, elevated into a prophet, and eventually he totally detached and became known as the angel, which I just mentioned, and he is the highest stationed angel. He is also known as Enoch, right? Many of you might have heard the book of Enoch, right? That's actually the same angel, the same person. So when it was a person, it was this, and then it became this angel. And then you have the four the four archangels, which are Rafael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Michael. Now, these four archangels have very specific tasks. Michael is the mercy of God, and he is known to be merciful. He is white, and he's known to be very merciful, very kind, very forgiving. He interferes and delivers positive messages to the people. And he's generally just a very kind angel. He is known as who is like God. People have labeled him as he's very close to God. His mercy resembles a lot of the Creator's mercy. Uriel, Zena, you want to tell us what Uriel does?
Maybe not. I'm not sure, actually. I forgot. Sorry.
It's okay.
Olina.
Uriel is the angel of balance. It's the angel of the central column. So if you guys remember, within the Kabbalistic system, there's right, left, and central column. Uriel represents central column. He's one that creates balance, and he's one that brings things together in your life. So I wouldn't call him the angel of manifestation as such, but he's the one that brings things together so that you remain balanced and healthy throughout your life or in the world or everything else. So for example, in these days of Corona, Uriel's job would be to bring in cleaner air, to bring in more positive outlook in life, to help more people. He's probably the ones that brought the dolphins back to the Venice canals. So he's the one that places this balance when there is a disbalance. What about Rafael? Many people who study spirituality know Rafael. And what is he? The angel of what?
Healing.
He's the angel of healing. And how does Rafael heal? Because this is actually very important. How does Rafael heal?
With his green diamond color. This is what I know.
Okay, anything else? Rafael's ability to heal comes from his ability to be inside the center. He's also a center column energy angel, and his ability to actually heal after, right? After a judgment has been executed. Rafael cannot heal before something has happened. He only heals after something has happened. And his help comes from the fact that we usually ask for an insight on what to do to be able to heal and transform. He's also the angel that brings about these life-changing decisions that we come up with, such as, I'm going to quit smoking. These decisions come from Rafael, right? So most of us think of Rafael as an angel of he's going to come and cure me. That's not actually really the angel Rafael. Rafael helps in bringing about this balance towards healing, right? So he works very closely in central column as well. Does that make sense? All right, moving on to Gabriel, the very controversial angel, right? Very controversial angel. If you happen to like Gabriel, be connected to Gabriel, you would understand Gabriel a lot more than, you know, than words, right? Not enough can be said about the Archangel Gabriel because he is known as the strength of God, right? Or Jalalatullah, which basically means he's the executioner of God. He makes
Power.
things happen. He's powerful. The
جبروت الله.
Archangel Gabriel, yes, Maria.
جبروت Allah, I think. Is that it?
I don't know, but in
Okay.
how it relates to exactly, but I know he's the strength of God. He's the Gevurah of
Okay.
God. He's basically
Power.
the might. The Archangel Gabriel, he's been a teacher for many of the great prophets, right? Not least Muhammad. He's the one that helped Muhammad channel the entire Quran. So imagine entire revelation, something like the Bible, he channeled in one go, one shot, right? He also taught Moses 70 languages in one shot. Like Moses could speak 70 languages in one shot because Gabriel helped him. Who else has Gabriel helped that, you know, that we like a lot? He's also very known.
هو اللي ظهر على العذراء وقت قال لها بدك تحبلي بيسوع.
He carries, I'm not sure about Mary, but he carries the message of life and death. Now, he's not the angel Azrael where he takes life, but he is the carrier that decides your life is over or yes, your life will start. Right? What else does he do? He's the one that told Sarah that she was going to get pregnant, yes, but I don't know about Mary. I think Mary had more than one angel appear to her.
No, I think كمان يلي ظهر على العذراء وقتها قال لها إنه رح تحبل it's Gabriel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What else? Who else has he taught? He's been a great teacher to someone who at times like this is very, very important.
I want to take a guess and say Joseph.
Yes, it's Joseph. He was Joseph's teacher. He helped him to decipher Pharaoh's dreams in order to create prosperity in the country so that the plague, right, which is a bit like, well, that was an environmental plague, and this is a health plague, but so that the plague does not eat up all the resources of the land. So Gabriel is known to be a very smart angel. Now, interestingly enough, I want you to try to visualize this. We know that in the upper worlds, there is what we call cause, and we are the effect, right? So whatever is a cause in the upper world becomes an effect in the lower world. Now, think about this just for 1 second and see if you can understand it. Judgment in the upper world becomes mercy in our world. Does that make sense? What does that mean? In short, if I say, I am going to make Yusra quit smoking, and it's because she way over smokes way too much, and I've had enough of this, right? That's a judgment in my thoughts. And when I come to Yusra and I take away all her money and I take away all her cigarettes, what is that for Yusra? That's mercy, right? I am being merciful and kind to her. Does that make sense? Because I'm saving her life from dying out of lung cancer. Does that make sense? Did you guys catch on to that?
Yes. Yes.
All right, so in the same way, where Gabriel seems to be an angel of judgment in the upper worlds because he's the strength of God or the justice of God or the power of God, in our world, he is actually mercy for us. Does that make sense? Yes.
Can we say the same about
No, I
angel
can't hear
Michael?
you. I can't hear you. No.
Hello.
Yes, now I can hear you.
ايه
Can we say the same thing about the angel Michael? So his mercy is judgment to us, appears as judgment.
In certain instances, yes. In certain instances, yes. As I said, he cannot interfere in the execution of something. So yes, you can see how that if you ask for mercy, sometimes you actually get given a situation in which your mercy has to be challenged. Let's use an example from actually the life of people, right? So there was this man in the Zohar that was decreed to pass away, right? He was decreed to be bitten by a snake. Does anybody know the story? We'll share the story again. So this is an interesting story about 3 Kabbalists walking behind 2 men in the desert. And they're like, they ask the light, the Kabbalists are asking the light, Creator, teach us something. Let us see something of your power today. So they notice that these 2 people walking in the desert have barely any food. So a beggar stops them and asks them for food. And one of the men says, you know, I feel so sorry for this man. So he just grabs all the food and gives it to him. And his friend is like, we've got a long way in the desert. You shouldn't give all your food away. And he says, no, it's okay. You know what? It's all right. I just want to do this. And he's like, what do you expect in return? I'm not going to give you any of my food. And he's like, I'm not expecting you to share. I'm just going to share my food. So the men keep walking. And in this instance, the Kabbalists decide, well, let's help the man who has no food because he's going to die. And they're like, no, we ask the Creator to show us, right, a sign of his strength. So they're walking and the 2 men fall asleep. And while they were sleeping, a snake comes down from the tree and wants to actually eat the honorable man, right? The man who was generous. And another snake comes and eats the first snake, right? So another snake comes and eats the snake that was meant to bite the man. And so the Kabbalists go and they're like, wow, you know, what a miracle, etc. So they woke up the man and told him the story. And they said, by the merit of what you had done for that poor man, you are able to overcome the judgment that was given to you, you know, as the snake. So what does this mean? In the case of, for our life, we ask for mercy. We ask for things to be done in our life. We ask, please, Michael, help me gain some more money, gain some more health, protect my children from the coronavirus, protect me from the COVID-19. But what happens? We get given a chance, right? Michael sends us the chance. So someone knocks on the door and asks for your help, or someone rings you up and says, can you donate some money? Or someone comes in and, you know, asks you for help to move something or to study. And suddenly this is the Archangel Michael in the form of judgment, giving you the opportunity to raise mercy. Does that answer your question? Okay. All right. So these are about the general archangels, and these are the archangels that create about 50% of the infrastructure. They're like, they're basically a bit like Russia, America, China, and what other country is now a superpower?
England.
And England, okay, I vote for England. All right, let's go for England. All right, so it's basically like those countries, right? They make the main decisions, but they cannot overlap. Again, angels have no free will, so they cannot overlap on the duties of other angels. Now let's go into a little bit lower in the hierarchy and understand that every single thing has an angel watching over it. In the Quran, it says, وَكُلِّ نَفْسٍ عَلَيْهَا حَافِظ, which basically means every single thing in creation has an angel looking over it. Does that make sense? There's actually even angels inside our body that help you through moving of different bones. Can you imagine that? In the time of your birth, there is 613,000 angels present in the room. So you have to imagine that angels are not just small beings or big beings or etc. Angels are present in every single situation of our life. They're everywhere. Actually, the Kabbalists reveal that angels are a bit like atoms. What are atoms? They have a positive pole, a negative pole, and a nucleus, right? A central column. So even angels are part of this system. Angels, there's the protons, there's the electrons, and they're angels that are created by the light, and they're angels or energies that we create. So there are two creators to angels, not just God, right? There's the creator that creates angels, and there are us that create angels. So let's say you meet a new person, right, today, which you wouldn't do because you're in isolation. And if you're not, you would be strictly banned, right? But in a situation of angels, right? If every time you meet a person, there's an angel that you guys create. And depending on the intention of your interaction and what you guys spoke about, the size of this angel and its positivity and how well your friendship develops is dependent on that first encounter. And if you want this encounter to continue, like let's say you go on a date and you like the guy, you can actually continue to strengthen this connection by always sending positive light to this angel, because he's always going to whisper positive things about you in his ear. And that happens with friendship, that happens with men and women, that happens on every level, right? Even if it's a boss, right? Sometimes you meet someone and you're like, oh, well, I don't know why I like them, because the intention or the creation of that angel was positive in an instance. And sometimes you look at someone and you think, no, I don't want to go there. He's not that positive towards me. Does that make sense? All right. Any questions about the aspect of the main archangels, the angels that every single thing in this world, even this pen, even this cup, right, has a governing angel above it, whether it's animate, whether it's the man, whether it's the vegetative kingdom, whether it's animals, right? Actually, cats are really known for this. They can see angels. So if you really look at them, they actually fluff with their eyes and they follow them. Dogs can usually sense the presence of angels only when they are about to execute. So if an angel is just lingering around doing nothing, then dogs are not really interested. But when it's about an angel to do some work, like let's say put the rock in front of your foot, or come and help you not see the keys, or blind you from seeing something, the dog is probably going to sense that, because animals usually sense angels. Has anybody ever sensed an angel presence? Not encountered an angel, but sensed a presence, and you think, oh, this is an angel. All right, would you guys know if you have? That's a more interesting question. Okay, so what does the presence of an angel feel like? Let's get practical. What does the presence of an angel feel like? So there are three types of ways that angels appear. One of them is you feel them with your body, right? You feel like something brushed against you, because they have the capacity to go inside and through your body. So you feel, you know, like sometimes how you do like this, like the jitters, that's probably an angel that has passed through you. Sometimes we feel goosebumps. That's because we've been touched by one, right? Sometimes we get the shivers, not the really strong ones, but just like, you know, you feel like, you know, like something is watching you and you're like, what's watching me? I know, for example, when I was very young, I used to, I mean, I don't remember seeing them, but I remember that I wouldn't want to be alone in any given situation, because I used to know that someone was following me. And I was like, And I used to be like, someone's following me, someone's following me. I mean, that's not a sign of schizophrenia unless you think a human being is following you. But, but usually you feel them. Also, some kids, if you ask them, where are angels? They will tell you, angels are everywhere. Angels are helping me move my finger. And they imagine them as little people doing jobs. I don't know if you've ever seen paintings of kids where they draw little people doing things, a variety of things, right? These are also kids drawing angels or their ability to understand angels. So goosebumps are a sign, the feeling of the jitters, the passing through, that's when you actually feel them physically. What about if you feel them through your mind, right? So the thoughts. Usually angelic thoughts are thoughts that prompt towards action, right? So forgive them, don't forgive them. And the positivity or the negativity of your thoughts, not how good or how bad, but the positivity and the negativity of your thoughts depends on what? Depends very heavily on your actions, right? If your actions are good, then you're going to have more positive angels that are speaking to you. And if your actions are negative, you're going to have more negative angels that are speaking to you. Now watch this. Because angels are always using the same infrastructure. I hope you'll be able to understand this, and please ask if you don't, because it's very important. As soon as you actually have a thought, let's say I want to learn how to ride a bicycle. So an angel will come to you, right, teaching you and helping you to how to ride the bicycle. The angel cannot ride the bicycle for you. You have to ride the bicycle for yourself. But now watch what happens. If your actions throughout riding this bicycle are negative, or if your thoughts are negative, what this angel has to do is teach you bad habits within the way you ride your bicycle so that you're constantly slipping and falling. Does that make sense? Let's use another example. So this was about a bicycle when you're learning something. Let's say, for example, you decide to start a business, right? And your intentions were pure. You wanted to start a business to help people, you know, have computers at home, a computer in every house, Bill Gates's motto, right? So you start with this business and you invest in it, and suddenly you become more eager towards money. You become more eager about cutting corners. You move your production to cheaper countries, and you also start to abuse people. So what's going to happen? That those angels cannot stop you from becoming the #1 you know, company that sells computers. But what they will do is that they will blind your employees from clinches in the system. You're going to have many returns on your computers. You're also going to have many viruses in your computers, right? These are all signs of a negative interference in your life. For example, losing your keys. You know, sometimes when you're looking for your keys, this is very specific of angels. Angels do this all the time. You're looking for something, you're in a hurry, you're angry, you're selfish, you're self-absorbed, and what happens? The keys are right in front of you, or you're even holding them, and you're going, where are my keys? Where are my keys? You start shouting, Maria, I don't know who, where are my keys, right? And where are the keys? They're right in front of you, right? And the moment you pause and you say, okay, what is it, the saint that everybody in Lebanon calls to find him stuff?
Antoine.
Yeah, Saint Antoine, right? They're like, oh, Saint Antoine. But what is Saint Antoine in this case? Saint Antoine is the positive thought that just, you know, steps you out of this negative commotion in your mind. Angels. So what's the purpose of angels, right? To understand on a, so does that make sense about angels, creation, the archangels, everything has angels watching over it and how they affect our life? Are we clear on that? Is there any questions in relation to this before I just say one more thing about angels? Okay. There is one interesting information about angels and where they hang around. You know that they have parties, you know, like we have parties, not anymore. We have parties on Zoom, but angels hang around in places as well. Where do positive angels hang around, and where do negative angels hang around? Negative angels usually linger in the shades of trees. In the shades of trees, you know, when you're sitting in the shade of a tree, that's not a very good place to sit. Why? Because negative angels, especially after sundown, that's where they linger. Okay, and they have the power to affect more negative thoughts. That's why most people who do, for example, Ouija boards and things like this, they do them in open air at night in the dark, under a tree, under, you know, under things like this, because they're affected by these negative angels. Positive angels, on the other hand, where do they hang around? It's a very common place. We all like to go there.
Beach?
The beach, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, the sea. Positive angels hang around the sea, and actually there's an angel, you know, the waves that do this? There's an angel that's responsible for doing this. Can you imagine? There's an angel just sitting there going all day, all night, right? It's kind of interesting. I mean, I wouldn't want to have his job. I mean, I don't know how he got that job, but right? So these are part of the things. We would not be able, there's spiritual growth. Now, I'm not here referring to self-help, so please guys, for those of you who are, you know, new on this Zoom, or who are not, you know, regular at the House of Wisdom, you wouldn't know this, but the House of Wisdom is very clear on the difference between self-development and spiritual development, right? Spiritual development feeds the soul, feels the psychological and mental and physical well-being. But the other way around is not necessary, right? We're not saying it doesn't happen, but we're saying it's not necessary. So the more you develop yourself, it's possible that you could become more spiritually aware, but you might not, right? So, but the opposite is true. If you're spiritually evolving, eventually with the right terminology or without the right terminology, you also develop yourself. And if you want to know more about that, you can read Spirituality versus Religion in Rav Ashlag's book. It's called The Wisdom of Truth, right? So this is important for you to know. Without the help of angels and without the help of tzaddikim, you cannot spiritually attain stations that could otherwise be attained. So it means if I want to go from here to LA to visit Zena, I need to walk to the airport, which maybe I can do on my own. I need to get to the plane, which I can do on my own, but I most certainly cannot fly to the US on my own, right? And that's the job of angels. And then once I arrive to the US and I know no one, right? I'm presuming I need to get a taxi, and I need to find a good taxi who's not gonna rip me off. So that's the job of the saints, right? Or the spiritual teachers. They help us by giving us the wisdom or the knowledge of who is the right taxi driver. And then I arrive to Zena's house and I knock at Zena's door, and that's on me. Does that make sense? So there are spiritual understandings or spiritual wisdom or spiritual transformation or spiritual strength that cannot be achieved without the help of angels. So in this moment and this tough time, just take a moment and realize what this means. Because today we feel so isolated, so alone, so afraid. And you know, we're battling with man's worst fear. I'm sorry, but bottom line is, the coronavirus is you're battling with man's worst fear. What's man's worst fear?
Death.
Uncertainty.
Exactly. Fear of the unknown, certainty. There's no certainty, right? Some people are not afraid to die. I mean, if you're manic depressive, hell, you welcome death. You're like, please take me now before tomorrow, right? But we battle every day with this fear of the unknown. And this is the worst fear, right? This is literally the worst fear. Even the Rav says this is the toughest challenge that anyone can battle. And no wonder that, you know, this is being battled now in, you know, towards the, you know, the Aquarius age, towards the end of the Aquarius age, right? So in times of like this, can you think of ways to connect to angels, to connect to those species that are out there to help you? Because this was the intention of the class, right? It's not particularly the energy of the week, but how do you connect to angels, right? How can you make them a part of your everyday conversation? And now knowing that you have a guardian angel, and your guardian angel, I want to talk a little bit about him, so maybe you guys would be as excited as I am, right? Guardian angels are like literally your best friend, right? Literally your best friend. They can give you wisdom. They can help you see things. They help you understand things. I personally, once I figured out my guardian angel, I was like, at the beginning, I was all like tzaddikim, tzaddikim, and I'm still all about the tzaddikim. Don't get me wrong. I'll never cheat on the tzaddikim, right? But there was a point where I was just like, at some point, I was like, you know what? I wonder if I could ask my guardian angel to tell me this. Would I still know the answer? And they do it for you. They don't do the job for you, but they give you, why would an angel just brush us? Example, the jitters. Oh, okay, so I'll answer that in just 1 second. I don't know what the no and yes are referring to, Bassam, by the way. All right, so guardian angels can help you access wisdom. They can tell you who your friend is. They can tell you who is lying to you. They can tell you who's cheating you in business. They can literally support you. Not only this, they can be your messengers to do what? They cannot do the task for you, but they can be the messengers to do what? Come on, guys, this is really exciting. No? If I am sitting here, right, and I really want Avi to call me, right? If I really want Avi right now to call me, or if I really want a teacher to call me, or if I really want a friend to call me, what can I do?
They will tell Avi to call you, basically.
They will tell Avi's angel, and Avi's angel will tell Avi to call me. They cannot tell Avi. They can tell Avi's angel, and Avi's angel can tell them. Do we get it?
Okay.
So
Yes.
you're literally using them as telecommunications as well. So they save you on a phone bill in times of economic crisis, right? Also, not only this, sometimes angels have been very vastly used in dreams, right? So for example, you ask an angel to give you an answer and he comes to you in a dream and he shows you images. Those images also are delivered by angels. What else can guardian angels do for us that is, you know, can they help us with exams? Ziad, can they help us with exams?
I hope so. I think they can. Yeah, they'll whisper with which one to guess. So if you're guessing in a multiple choice question, they could whisper to you, pick C.
Okay.
But you have to listen.
Okay. How would you know if it's your guardian angel whispering or the evil angel that you know because of all the people that you have made fail before or because you haven't studied? How would you know the difference?
I don't know. Aql wa tawakkal?
No. Right, guys? So this comes to the important bit, right? And this is the part where it gets interesting. If I call right now, who is someone I don't speak to very often on this chat? Let's see. Yusra. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time. If I call you from an unknown number and I say, hello, would you know who I am?
I might from your voice, but not necessarily.
Okay. And if I say I am Penelope Cruz, are you going to believe me?
ما كتير لا.
Why not? You could. I could be Penelope Cruz.
Okay, sure. Let's say I would.
You don't know my voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, assume you talk to me every day.
Mm-hmm.
From the moment I say hello, are you going to know who I am?
Probably, yeah.
And if I say I'm Penelope Cruz, what's your answer going to be?
كيفك شو الأخبار? And like as a joke, you know.
Exactly. You're going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever, Penelope Cruz, let's carry on with our conversation. Yeah. It's exactly the same way with angels. The way you know the voice of your guardian angel is by calling him every day. Most of us forget this. Most of us forget that, you know, they're here to help us. And this really small step in a spiritual connection with angels is most often missed, because what happens is that we think, oh, I don't see him, he doesn't see me, where is he? I don't know, I don't believe in angels, I don't know where they are. So it sort of gets lost in translation. But if you get used to this conversation on a daily basis, you begin to recognize the negative voices that are coming from you, the negative voices that are coming from angels, the voice of your guardian angel, the voice of your teachers. You begin to recognize who they are. But if you're not aware and you don't speak to these entities on a daily basis, right, you're not going to know them. I will give an example, right, from something that that, you know, happens to me quite often, right? It's not a good idea to call upon Gabriel, right? It's not a good idea because he's the angel of, you know, I mean, he's a nice angel. It's just, he's not the choice. Like, call on Rafael. Rafael is really nice. So, but I personally like Gabriel, and, you know, I like him. So every time I was going up the stairs and someone was pissing me off. Yeah, someone was pissing me off. And I was like, okay, Gabriel, where are you? And while that person was literally going up the stairs, they tripped. And I was like, thanks. And literally, I heard the voice go, you're most welcome. And I was like, oh my God, that's so bad. That's so evil, right? But
that's so funny, actually.
Being so reactive, right? And what they were saying was so unjust. I was just like, please stop talking, right? You're just accumulating so much negativity in the world. So while we think of these things that, okay, they're not really real or etc., but you recognize the voices because you've interacted with them on a daily basis. What, Basim, tell me, what did you want to say?
No, I was saying that's funny.
Yeah, but most often, see which angel you connect to. For example, I know many healers that connect to the angel Rafael, right? And they say that they can perform distance healing. What's distance healing? How does distance healing happen? Distance healing happens, they send the angel Rafael with all these positive vibes and energies to execute for them something that they wouldn't otherwise be able to execute in a physical reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there a shortcut to connect to my angel, or like just like try to communicate with him?
So 3 things you have to know. Most of us assume, right? Most of us assume that, oh, just because we've heard of the archangels, that one of them is our angel. Not necessarily. Every person is accompanied by several angels. So one of them, you can write these things down. One of them is the day that you were born. Every day that you're born has a specific angel to them, right? And that's not one of the archangels. That's very rare for it to be an archangel on that day. The second thing is the month in which you were born. That also has an angel. The third thing is the year in which you were born. That also has its own angels. Also, the prominent signs under which you are ruled. So for example, if you're ruled by the sun or the moon, if you're a Cancer, or if you are a Sagittarius, you're ruled by Jupiter. That also has, because why? Because there's an angel that rules Jupiter. So that automatically becomes your ruler. Does that make sense?
Question.
Yes, but I just want to make sure that that makes sense to Bassem, just so I can.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're not. So a guardian angel is one
Yes.
that is given to you from your first incarnation. Your guardian angel never changes. Get this: guardian angels do not change. They are with you multiple lifetimes from now until you finish. Do you choose them or do they choose you?
I think they choose us.
They choose us, exactly. They choose your soul and they accompany your soul. So you're like, it's really so beautiful, because we choose our parents, they choose us. But imagine, like, you know, an angel has decided, oh, you know what? I want to be with you and I can help you do whatever it is that you've come to this creation to do. And I'm going to be the help. It's really such a very nice thing to think about. So
That's
angels
amazing.
choose
But
us.
so how to connect to this specific angel, our guardian angel?
So guardian angels, so you can do a meditation. We will do a very short meditation now. And I will explain why I don't want to do a very intensive meditation about this first, because we're not all together in the same room. So everybody's in his house and in their own. And sometimes, again, as we said, there are positive angels and there are not so positive angels. So sometimes these meditations shouldn't be done so openly. That's the first and the honest answer towards that. The second reason is because most of us right now are not at their optimum ability to connect to positivity. I mean, how many of you feel fantastic? Right? So what's the possibility now of a negative angel coming and saying, oh, you know what? Just give up.
So I think we can do it someday at the center.
Yeah, someday we will probably do it in the center. So this is primarily the reason. So this is the second reason. And the third and the final reason is because you cannot focus as much to be able to, connect to that. So, but there's one thing that I want to say again, a guardian angel does not have to be an archangel. You are governed by so many angels that affect you. One is the planet, one is the day, the hour, the minute, the second, and then there's also the month, the year, right, which falls under all those categories. There's also angels that have chosen you, right? And they're angels that you've created. So there are multiple layers of angels in this equation. But when you're looking for your guardian angel, a name will appear to you. You just have to, when we do this in real, you just have to compare the list of angels that it's possible, because we know the angels of negativity as well. We know their names, and we know the angels of positivity, and you can refer to them and you can tell which one is which. Does that make sense?
Jana, I have.
Yes.
Yes. Jana, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Actually, two. The first question is, why are there certain names that we should not pronounce?
Okay.
And the second question is, can someone have more than one guardian angel?
Okay. Again, we have a lot of angels that accompany us, but a guardian angel is only one. But with the understanding of what we understand as the guardian angel, it's the angel that chose to accompany your soul throughout the journey of life. This is always one. But again, you have a gazillion angels around you that are affecting you and are also your ruling angels, right? So you could have, even you can go to this extent, you can have, for example, you can have Azrael, you can have Rafael and Gabriel as your angels. And watch how controversial that is. That's the angel of death, the angel of healing, and the angel of judgment. But these are not all your guardian angels. These are just angels that you have accumulated throughout, but only one of these will be your guardian angel.
Okay.
Okay. What was the other question?
Why are there certain names for angels that we should not pronounce?
Okay, so the short answer to that is, and very simply, have you seen Harry Potter?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Do you want to, who's someone you don't really like?
My dad.
Okay, so do you want to be having a conversation with me? What's your dad's name? I won't send him this recording.
Tony.
Tony, as in my husband? Okay, all right, that's interesting. Okay, so would you like to be having a private conversation with me and going, I don't like Tony, I don't like Tony, and what's going to happen if Tony's in the room?
No, he's gonna know.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Angels are everywhere. They're not confined by time and space. What determines their ability to hear you or to connect to you is their name. So if you're constantly mentioning their name, they know what you're talking about and they can hear you. But if you haven't called to them, you haven't connected to them, so they don't have the ability to hear you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I don't think Ziad understood, or he's not convinced.
But why is it bad to connect to them?
Sorry, Maria, Ziad, at the same time, I can't hear you.
Oh. Why is it bad to connect to them?
Why is it bad to connect to them?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad to connect to them, but angels that you should not connect to, you don't mention their names. We didn't say don't mention the name Rafael or don't mention the name something, but the angel that we listed at the beginning is your ability to connect to him comes with extremely high intensive energy that can literally burn you out, and it can cause a lot of physical, not positive effect.
Okay.
Ziad, what was the thing about what you said?
I was gonna say about the first angel we mentioned that we shouldn't say his name.
Yes, many people. Okay, so in this case, yeah, please ask your question.
Like, isn't he one of the positive angels and one of the superior angels? Is it just because he's too strong for us?
The angel himself is not permissible to mention his name in the case you're referring to. Goes to the same and another teaching, which is, you guys remember, this is just purely for people who really are deep now in their wisdom, but you guys remember that everything that comes into Malchut is a diminished reality. So the name remains concealed because it becomes part of the bigger reality, or remains part of the bigger reality. All right, any other questions? All right, let's, yes.
Jannah, so
Yes.
for now, how can we send healing and protection to all the world وإحنا for protection using the angels? طبعا we'll use Rafael, كل اللي قلتي لنا إياه, بس is there a shortcut as well to
Is
this
there a
aspect?
shortcut? Yes, absolutely. So they're the angels of the day. that you can find, that I can send you pictures of there in Karen's book, To Be Continued, right? So there's a copy there of the Angels of the Day. There's one in Dialing God that you can scan those, right? And those actually provide you with angels for the day. They also provide you with specific angels for the week. Also, study about angels, right? There is a really good writer that has written about angels. Her name is Doreen Virtue. She's, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her surname, but it's written like that, like Virtue, basically. And she has amazing books about the different angels. Also, you can, if you connect to a specific angel, just ask and refer of whether that's a positive or a negative angel. Mostly the world right now, if you ask, is mostly, I would say, the world needs Rafael. Of course, everybody needs Rafael, but I would go more for Uriel, because he's the angel of balance, and people need to find that balance in their life, right? Please don't call Gabriel. Unless you need the wisdom, right? If anything health-wise happens to you, I would call Gabriel, because he'll give you the wisdom of what to do, right? So he might not give you the healing, but he will give you the tools to overcome it. There is a section in Rosh Hashanah that you scan for wisdom, you scan for children, or you scan for prosperity. And I remember one time, a long time ago, when we asked our teacher, like, Rav, what do you scan for, So the Rav always used to say, well, if I am wise, I will know how to get children. And if I am wise, I will know how to get money. So after that, like me and several other Hevra who, are very good friends, like, we decided that, we only scanned for wisdom, because we realized if it was good for the Rav, it's good for us. So I don't know. But yeah, so in case something happens, I would ask Gabriel for the wisdom to overcome it. But definitely the world needs Uriel, needs a lot of balance, needs a lot of mercy, Michael, right? So those are the things. Calling them, praying, and constantly connecting right now to the angels. And one of the reasons why I would say, imagine this, right? You're sitting in solitude, you're feeling a bit low, you're feeling a bit down, you're feeling a bit scared. So you're a bit like that kid that was in the pit. You guys remember the story about Karen in the pit? So you're a bit like that, whether you like it or not. I'm a bit like that, I know for myself. So in this case, are you more able to hear the positive voices that speak to you, or are you less able to hear them? You're more able to hear them because you're alone and you're committed and you're trying, right? You're more open. But yeah, so that's part of it.
Jana, I have a question.
Yes.
Sometimes, let's say, when I'm hesitant about a decision. Let's say I fail one soul with the Sadiqim and I open one of the 72 names of God.
Yes.
As the Sadiqim is this, then my guardian angel, I know her name. Is it the same, or here in taking decisions, which is better, but in my opinion, in your opinion, what should I ask, the Sadiqim, one soul with X, or my guardian angel?
Okay, so I would like to answer that as, and it's subjective, right? Again, I want to just say twice that the answer to this is subjective. Sadiqim, or what is a saint? A saint is a person like me, like you, that came, transformed, did the work, felt the pain, got to see this ugly, nasty, difficult world, got to see this beautiful, amazing, challenging potential that is. He gets the fact that, you like Ferraris and want kids. He gets the fact that, on a much deeper level. Angels, of course, angels are fantastic beings, but they have no free will. They've never had any desire, right? So while my answer is subjective, right, I would always ask, if it's something related to guidance of something that I want to happen, I will always ask the saints. Because why? Because they get why I want it to happen. They get my ego. They get my desire to receive. They get my selfishness. They get the fact that, oh my God, here she goes again. She's going to drop like a bomb, right? So, you know, they get that. While, you know, if I am to say, Rafael, please help me because I don't want to feel any pain. Rafael's going to be like, what? What are you on about, dude? What pain? What? What are you about? Which physical reaction? What are you talking about? You know? So again, we have to understand the intelligence of what we're talking about. Angels don't have free will. So in that sense, it does not make them bad to ask. It just makes them channels of light. While the saints get you more as a human being. Does that make sense? So
yes, yes.
So I would, if I'm to ask for wisdom, I would ask an angel. If I am to ask for world healing, I would ask an angel. If I am asking for the ability to see where my keys are, I would ask an angel. But if I want to become a better teacher and I really want to overcome some issue I have, I would probably ask a saint. If I want to lose weight, I will ask, you know, we always ask the light, but the channel for that would be a saint.
Thank
Jana,
you.
I have a
Thank you.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. So, does our intuition come from angels?
Does intuition come from angels? Yes.
Okay.
Any
جانا
other
سؤال.
Yes.
هلا يا حبيبي. عمري عيني ما أحلاكي. الspiritual helper هلا يعني في الangels والsaints. What about the spiritual helper؟ يعني شو هو ماهيته لهي المخلوق؟
ما فهمت مين spiritual helper. That's not
بسمع
the word I've
بيقولوا
used.
they also call for a spiritual helper. إنه كل حدا عنده spiritual helper. بس I don't know if this is I don't know anything about it. I was wondering.
No, it's okay.
صدقين.
It's a what, Zena?
As a صدقين.
Yeah, it's the tzaddikim. Again, Shahid, you have to remember that spirituality is all the same everywhere. The message is always the same. It's different words to describe the same thing. So I'm assuming, and that's just an assumption, but you have to ask the person who's actually used this word as what is he referring to. A spiritual helper, what we what we understand it in the House of Wisdom is someone who was in the world a very pious person, a very good person, achieved their correction, understood some spiritual secrets, or a lot of spiritual secrets, and eventually departed with no selfish desire. Eventually, because he has no selfish desire, he can help other souls along in the path. That's what we understand by saints or tzaddikim or siddiqin, right? But I don't know what spiritual helper in this case might mean.
تمام.
All right. Other questions? Let's do a short meditation. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you can uncross your legs, I'm going to try to put on some music. Maybe you'll be able to hear it. I am not going to take you through this meditation completely, again, for the reasons that we mentioned. What I want to just get to the bottom of is just how to ask. So tonight, please do your meditations, your connections, and ask, right? Okay, I'm gonna switch off the lights here, and if you can just can you guys hear the music? Guys, can you hear the music?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If we can close our eyes. Uncross your legs. Allow your feet to touch the floor. Take a deep breath in, out of your mouth. نفس عميق. Out. Allow a golden light to surround you. To totally engulf you. Imagine this golden light growing larger and larger around you. Inviting a spiritual teacher into the bubble. Take a deep breath in. Asking the spiritual teacher help you to discover asking the spiritual teacher to help you discover your guardian angel. Invite whoever you want into this bubble of golden light. As you float around in this bubble of golden light, Ask your guardian angel to reveal himself to you. In a dream, in a name, in a movie. Be open. Slowly. Taking deep breaths in. Begin to unrelax. Slowly. Slowly. Counting from 3. Remaining open through messages. 2. Thanking the spiritual teacher. 1. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. Any questions that I can answer? This was the very, very, very basic, as much as can be done on Zoom, about angels. Not only basic, I would say it's really just maybe 0.5% of what needs to be said. But it's hopefully to get you to have some friends while you're in solitude.
Jana, I have a question, please.
Yes.
There's a story story about an angel who fell from above and became the devil. And I mean, he was in the spiritual world and he came to the physical world.
Yes.
What about this angel?
It's this is a very you study this within Kabbalah, who he is, how he was created, and everything about him. It's a very deep topic, but it's not exactly as how you described, and he didn't become a physical being. He's still an angel. And fell means that he actually descended to do a role here. So it's not exactly how you're describing it. It's the best language can describe, but it's not this understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, guys, some quick announcements. Tomorrow is the new moon of Aries. Very important, extremely important, the seed of the 12 months, right? So it's very important, but actually the next 12 days are very important because every day is a very powerful day, right? So the most we can do is, do what we want to be doing in life, maybe draw vision boards, etc. Tomorrow we will be Zooming as well. Tomorrow we will be live. For those of you who want to come to the House of Wisdom, most welcome. For those of you who are not, we will be live on Facebook and Instagram. So please follow that. And if you have friends or family that need to talk or to reach out, then please also don't spare us. We're here for you. And also, the House of Wisdom Center has officially opened its doors to anyone who wants to use it as an office facility, streaming or teaching for healers, coaches, psychologists, etc. They can now book free slots to do that, post everything that's going on. Guys, please don't feel that you are alone. You're not. We're not physically with you, but you've got angels, you've got tzaddikim, you've got lots of books. And I know everybody's thanking the nurses and the doctors, but if you ask me, the biggest thanks goes to
Angels?
No. Who's the biggest thanks going to?
Corona.
Netflix.
Netflix.
Right? If it wasn't for Netflix, you guys would be pulling your hair out. So
Actually,
all the entertainers in the world who make us laugh, cry, right? You guys have done an amazing job keeping us entertained, and we still have a lot more entertainment to go. So I'm very thankful to them. All right. Love and leave you. Action for Lebanon. You guys are staying on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.